We take a trip to the hotline and visit with our very own Jason Leffler of the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Top of the morning.
Hey, what's happening?
Hi, Jason.
You tell us. What are you doing right now?
To be honest, I'm trying to get Charlie to give me his headphones. He's in the back seat of my truck, and they're up so loud I can hear him from the front of the truck here, so I don't want him to blow his eardrums out. But that's what I'm doing. He's watching cartoons in the back, and we're on our way to the race shop. So
what is Charlie listening to right now?
he is watching the Backyardigans on DVD.
Ah, the old Backyardigans. Yes, I know them well.
Backyardigans,
yes,
yeah. Trying to get him to hand him to you, but hand me his earphones, but he's not going for it.
You mentioned you're heading to the shop. A new addition to the Turner Motorsports lineup. Mikey Kyle joining the team. We just found out.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're going to have a variety of drivers in and out of that 30 car, and I just heard that too. So, man, we just got another driver. We'll have half the field full of drivers here before long.
I'm telling you, Steve Turner just trying to. It's like like you're playing that game. What's the game where you're trying to take over the world domination? That's what it feels like.
Yeah. I mean, I think. We run that 30 car, so like I'll run it this weekend, and then Reed runs it some, and we want to keep it up in points. So, I think Mike came along there, and it's a good car for him to get in and run. If he wants to run some nationwide races, there's really not a better car to get in than that thing. So yeah, I mean, it's going to have a variety of drivers. It's all good though, and we got James Busher driving with us this weekend, so in the 34 car. So we got all kinds of drivers. It's a changing landscape all the time around there.
Of course, you mentioned being behind the wheel of that number 30 car this weekend, the AccuDock Chevrolet for Turner Motorsports. Going to our first short track race of the year, is there any conditioning out there? Is there any preparation that you can do to get your mind right before you go to that bull ring?
No, I mean, especially Bristol. I mean, it's a wild track. Obviously, we all know that, and not anything special. I've been working my arms out quite a bit this week, so because you get a workout there. I mean, it's probably one of the most physical racetracks we go to. You're always turning, you're always doing something. There's really no time to relax. So, it's mentally, you just really got to slow your mind down. Really, I mean, once you get into the race, there everything kind of really slows down, and you got to look at things a little differently and all that. But it's a great track. I love it. But it does take a little different approach than going, let's say, to a mile and a half for sure.
I've heard people try to make a comparison of Bristol to other racetracks, and I hear this all the time, and you're the perfect guy to ask. It's a lot like Winchester or Salem, where you used to run sprint cars and midgets. Is that a fair comparison?
I hear that a lot, and a lot of people say that, but it doesn't remind me. What reminds me of Salem is, or Darlington reminds me of a Winchester or Salem, but, it's a high bank. Bristol's such a high bank place, but you run such a different line. To be honest, what it used to remind me of before they repaved it was Anderson, Indiana, which is a little old quarter mile up there. And you kind of cut the bottom, ran on the bottom, and you kind of drove the same way. And believe it or not, Bristol's a really easy place to overdrive. I mean, it looks like it has all that banking, you're just driving the heck out of it. But those corners, they invite you in there, to overdrive your car. So, but yeah, I mean, a high bank place, it's awesome. A lot of action, and there's not a bad seat in the stand, so that's what's cool about it. It's such a stadium feel when you go there.
Do you have a preference, Jason, of the Bristol before 2007 or the one that was reconfigured after 2007?
We get it both, so I love it. I love it right now. To be honest, it reminds me of a mini Dover. It's like a mini Dover now. You drive it kind of the same way, but now I love it because you got two grooves. You can actually pass the guy. You can drive around him or drive under him. Where before you really couldn't do that. You just kind of smashed your way through him, and you went on to the next guy and hoped the guy behind you didn't get you before you got the other guy. So, I enjoy going there. It's one of my favorite racetracks, and look forward to running the AccuDock Chevy this weekend for sure.
How about after the off weekend? Does it kind of get the juices going even more to get back to the racetrack when you've had some downtime?
Yeah, it does. Especially there, you hit the track and I mean, you got to be on it from the moment you roll up on the track and you go through those gears. You know, you got to slam through those gears and get going. There's no easy easing up on the racetrack, taking your time, you know, shaking the car around. I mean, you got to go. And, you know, luckily we have some extra practice. We got another hour of practice, I think, because obviously with the new nationwide car, NASCAR's giving us a little extra time there. And so we'll have plenty of practice on Friday.
Do you foresee any curveballs being thrown at you this weekend by that new race car?
I do. I mean, it's just a matter of figuring out what it's going to take to get around there. You know, obviously, we'll go there with a similar setup that we had with our old race car, but you know, you got the splitter, you have to keep off the ground. It's not like the old Valence where you could let it rub and it would kind of clearance itself. You know, that splitter, once it hits the ground, you lose all front grip. So we had to change our springs up front a little bit. It's just a matter of fine-tuning and getting your cambers right and all that. So luckily, like I said earlier, we do have that practice, and that's going to help a lot. And tires, you know, they don't wear out really quick there. They haven't in the past, so you actually can use all your practice time, and it'll be good. It'll be a good race. But yeah, there's some curveballs. I mean, the car's longer, obviously keeping the splitter off the ground. So since the car's longer, it's not going to turn as well. You know, probably turn as sharp. So you're just going to have to do some little things there to get your car going, you know.
Well, based on what Josh Wise did down the front stretch at Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago, we know that at least the front end's durable.
That thing, I tell you, this car is tough. I mean, I'm always seeing that even on the Cup side. You know, Phoenix, where Jeff Gordon slammed the fence really in 3 and 4, and he came back and won the race. And I mean, it's a lot tougher than our old style car where you had to really take care of your fenders. I mean, you can bash the fenders in these things, but you can really lean on a guy more than you could with that old car. So it ought to be an interesting Bristol, especially when it comes to leaning on each other.
We've talked a lot about communication at Bristol this week, and we've heard from some crew chiefs. What about from the driver's perspective, Jason? How tough is it to communicate to your crew chief at Bristol?
Well, I mean, like I said, you get in a race and your mind kind of slows down and everything, everything slows down. But, yeah, I mean, it's not an easy place to communicate. You got to pick your spots to do it. The crew chief usually you have a hard time hearing him. He has a hard time hearing you because of the noise. And, communication is very important, obviously. I mean, telling them what the car's doing and what to do on the next stop. And it's hard. I mean, it's definitely a noisy, fast-paced racetrack, and all that stuff that you do at the other tracks just becomes a little bit harder.
What about road rage? How hard is it to fight road rage at Bristol?
Road rage, yeah. Road rage, it was more so with the old track, but there's still plenty of it. And it's easy to get mad at the guy in front of you, you know, and just get him a little bit in the back bumper or the left rear and move him out of your way. You know, the trick is just getting him a little bit, not spinning him out, just moving him.
Yeah, it's a fine art that you have to master, isn't it?
Yeah, but he also said that with that little at the end.
Yeah. It takes a lot of years to figure that out, and sometimes you get it wrong.
It just, having watched you guys do what you do at Bristol, it just seems like it's bordering on insanity. Your lap times are 15 seconds, and to me, you would have no time to think and no time to react. How long does it take to develop those reflexes racing just at that racetrack in itself?
I mean, it takes a few races for sure. And to think about that, we're doing it in a 3,400-pound race car, you know, with relatively skinny tires, and they run 15 seconds around a half mile. It's incredible. It's not like we're driving an Indy car or a sprint car or something that's really light with a ton of horsepower and a lot of tires and downforce. So, yeah, I mean, you're busy, and it takes a long time to develop those reactions, and it takes a long time to make sure you don't overreact. You know, it's an easy place to overreact too. I mean, you got an inside and outside wall. You always have cars behind you in front of you everywhere. So, I mean, if you notice, that's how a lot of wrecks. You'll have a guy make a mistake, but the guys behind him almost really overreact. They don't underreact. So, it's tough, but it's like I said, for whatever reason, it's one of my favorite tracks, and I enjoy it, and I look forward to getting that AccuDoc Chevy maybe to victory lane this weekend. And I know the thing looks good, and we ran good with it at Daytona, so I always enjoy driving that car.
Well, we look forward to watching you. It's one of my favorite tracks to watch races, so good luck